I'd like to welcome to the ring Major General Wasan Pimchanok, the advisor to the Royal Thai Army Sports Development Center, Muay Thai Lumpini, and the representative of the director of the Royal Thai Army Corps of Engineers. Also, I'd like to introduce the supervisor of the WBC, Major General Dum Rong Si Maka Jonbun. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an 8-round affair for the vacant World Boxing Council Asia Female Flyweight Championship. Fighting out of the blue corner with a professional record of 9 wins, 5 losses, and no draws. Hailing from Thailand, this is Pimchanok Singmanasak Gym. And her opponent, with a professional record of 13 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, hailing from the Philippines, this is Jessebelle Pagaduan. Supervisor for this bout, Mr. Dum Rong Si Maka Jonbun. Assistant Supervisor Ter Tian Tong Ta Vilakan. Judges ringside Tawut Plun Saram. Visut Ying Gop Akan, Supap Bun Ra Wee. Referee in charge of the action, Chavang Kru Kate.
Okay, here we go, folks. We are back, and this is our WBC female flyweight title fight. This is scheduled for 8 rounds of action. We've got in the red corner Jessebelle Pagaduan, representing the Philippines, against Pimchanok Singmanasak Gym, representing Thailand.
I'm ready for this one, Ali. We have seen Jessebelle fight in this ring several times, as well as her opponent Pimchanok, so they're not a stranger to this arena.
Southpaw versus an Orthodox now. This is the first time we've had a Southpaw versus an Orthodox on the card this afternoon. There's a lot going on when you fight someone from the opposite stance. Jimmy, can you talk us through it?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing you're going to be doing is you're going to be trying to get your lead leg on the outside of your opponent's lead leg before you send that backhand. The reason you do that is because you can step in with it and you get more leverage on it. So watch the footwork of both of these fighters. They're battling for the lead leg to be on the outside. Now, that does come up the risk of clashing heads now and again, but we're going to see. Jessebelle likes to start slow, likes to get down low, and likes to send those jabs to the body.
Yeah, well, we saw that earlier on, the footwork from Pimchanok, as she was able to get her left foot on the outside of Pagaduan's.
Pimchanok doing a very good job of biding her time, not allowing herself to get involved with Jessebelle's spell, as we like to say. Jessebelle, although she's a shorter fighter, does like to get nice and low and then usually starts to stick and move to the body. So I like to see that when you're a shorter fighter, it's actually a good move to make yourself even shorter but more explosive with your movements.
Yeah, Jessebelle really trying to close the distance here, but struggling a bit. Needs to get a good rhythm with her jab and trying to edge to the outside. Ideally step laterally to her right, Jim, so she can find that power hand, a good angle for it to unlock the orthodox stance of Pimchanok.
And as you said it, there was a beautiful right hand landed by Pimchanok. She stepped on the left-hand side and sent that right hand to the chin. A very nice connection by Pimchanok. And we're seeing right now Jessebelle biding her time, and we will see this quite often with southpaws against orthodox. It's all about the rhythm, it's all about the timing, and finding your range is a lot harder to do in the earlier rounds, so it's all about finding your timing.
And that's the end of round 1. We will have the replays for you shortly, and we will see you in round 2.
So a very typical round for both of these fighters. Jessebelle starts quite slow. She bides the time. She gets her range. With her being a shorter fighter, she knows she has to be in on the inside to connect clearly. But Pimchanok did a very good job in the early rounds to land that overhand right when she stepped to her side, but she also ate one in the process as well. Jessebelle did the exact same thing. So both fighters are trying to land the same punch on one another. They're both stepping to their lead leg on the outside and sending that backhand through the middle.
Like you said, the battle of the lead foot between the two fighters, Southpaw Vessel and Orthodox. It felt like it was a very close round, that one. Again, I wouldn't want to be a judge ringside this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely a close round, and it's one of those rounds where it could really just go either way, and I don't think you could argue with it. Not a lot was going on, but both fighters landed probably the same amount of punches each.
Pagaduan pouring out the jab several times now to start the round.
Jessebelle on the back foot, on the outside. Like I said, she starts slow, she finds the timing, goes to the body as much as she can.
Right jab again from Pagaduan.
Jessebelle doing a very good job of going to the body when she can. Jessebelle, Pagaduan has just eaten a big left hand, but fires one back of her own. Nicely timed by both of these fighters.
Yeah, that left hand really did hit the mark there from Pimchanok. Probably the best punch that she's landed so far. And Jessebelle tries to rally with that right hook and left hand, but hits nothing but air, Jimmy.
And Jessebelle knows how to weather a storm. She is a veteran boxer indeed. But of course, Pimchanok is representing Singmanasak Gym. They like to get in close. They're not scared of in-close fighting, which is exactly what Jessebelle likes to do. So it's definitely a good matchup for both of these fighters. Jessebelle biding her time. Looks like she's stepping with that lead leg, trying to find it. She's flicking that jab out, Ali, and she's going to try and send that left hand down the middle as soon as she gets that range.
A real stalemate between these two that hasn't been broken just yet. This has been going on for quite some time now in this round. I'm surprised that the referee hasn't stepped in, but here we go. Right into the clinch we go. Looks like one fighter tried to take a bit of a risk and ended up getting wrapped up in the clinch.
Jessebelle landed two big left hands downstairs, so she's definitely finding a time, but just not doing enough, in my view, to keep someone like Pimchanok away from her. But it'll be a test of the fitness.
Double jab here from Jessebelle.
And the blood is definitely trickling out of the nose of Pimchanok.
And that is going to end round number 2. Replay coming up very shortly.
So as we saw in that replay, it was where we saw that flicking jab by Jessebelle, where she flicks the jab and then throws that left hand down the middle. And that's what she's been trying to set up for the entire round. It was a nice trap. You flick the jab, get your opponent to read the jab, find out if you're in range or not, and then you send that big backhand down the middle. So that jab is finding the range, but it's also just lulling your opponent into a false sense of belief that they're not going to get hurt.
So 1 round down. We're set for 8 for this WBC Asia female flyweight title fight.
And definitely good work by the corner to get that nose under control. There was a bit of blood trickling down. Obviously, when your nose is bleeding, it's harder to breathe, so it's harder to get oxygen going, so your energy levels just plummet very quickly.
Swing and a miss there by Jessebelle to start the round.
Both fighters holding central ring, but Jessebelle definitely will do well in the center of the ring if she gets her footwork right.
There you go, Jessebelle with the jab again. The left hand goes straight through the guard. It didn't look like it connected so flush, but Pimchanok looks like she's in a bit of pain.
Yeah, definitely landed clean. And we're seeing a very nice move by Jessebelle. Flick the jab upstairs, go downstairs with the left hand, and then every now and again she goes upstairs with that left hand, and it's so hard to time for Pimchanok. It's a very nice move by Jessebelle.
Yeah, Jessebelle going sniping on the outside, closing the distance extremely well as well. As soon as she connects with that left hand, Jim, trying to connect again with that right hook, liking what I'm seeing from Jessebelle at the moment.
Jessebelle, when she throws that left hand, she gets full motion as well. And you can look at the legs of Jessebelle. There is a lot of muscle and there is a lot of power just being delivered through. So you can see Jessebelle sits down on those left hands and just sends them through the middle.
We really need to see some responses here from Pimchanok. I mean, the typical responses that you get from an orthodox against the southpaw is just edging to your left a little bit, stepping laterally to the left and landing that right hand. Haven't seen a lot of that from Pimchanok, James. I mean, You got to wonder whether she's not faced that many southpaws. Another left hand connects flush for Jessebelle.
A very nice combination indeed for a southpaw. Lead right hook followed up by a left hand to the body. And Jessebelle is just setting trap after trap. She kept flicking that jab out and then turned that jab into a lead hook and then went downstairs with a left. It's beautiful stuff, really, and just some very fantastic boxing going on.
And that is the end of the round. So that is the end of round 3. We will get the replay for you shortly, and then we will start round 4.
So as you can see in that replay, both fighters obviously getting involved in the clinch, but it was that stinging left hand by Jessebelle that landed well. But of course, we saw the punch land clean as well for her opponent. Pimchanok had her moments in that fight. However, in the long run, Jessebelle is definitely starting to just get those connections through. Jessebelle, being the shorter fighter, had to find her range a little bit earlier, and I think that's exactly what she's done very well so far. You said earlier, Pimchanok hasn't really given Jessebelle much to worry about, and that's exactly what she needs to do. She needs to get a little bit dirtier in there and just throw everything she's got, rough her opponent up.
Pimchanok's timing just seems completely off, whereas Jessebelle has her just playing with her like a puppet on the strings right now. It's got her timing, works out her feints, works out her range. We've seen a lot of the jabs from Jessebelle in the earlier rounds that's lined up her left hand. Let's see if we can see more of that in this round, Jimmy.
Yes, southpaws who go to the body against orthodox tend to dominate divisions, and that's what we're seeing with Jessebelle. She's flicking that jab just to disguise the left hand. That jab isn't there to score points. That jab isn't there to hurt her opponent. It's just there to disguise the left hand and the lead hook.
Left hand to the body there from Jessebelle. Pimchanok holding center of the ring, edging forward slightly. There's that left foot of Pimchanok on the outside of Jessebelle. She just has to throw a punch now. Try and extend her punches as much as she possibly can, but Jessebelle keeping her at bay by pouring out the jab or the lead hand, just keeping her at arm's length.
And interestingly, Jessebelle's a shorter fighter, but actually using her range a lot better than Pimchanok is doing. Jessebelle is jousting her opponent away, keeping her away from her, which isn't something you should allow a shorter fighter to do. You should step in their grill and just go to town on them.
Well, holding your lead hand out like that is a good strategy, though, because it's something that you sort of keep them at bay very well, and you don't expect it. You're not too sure what's coming. You think it's a punch, but it's not. They're just keeping the arm there just to gauge the range and just to fend off their opponent.
Yeah, we see that quite often with amateur boxers and new boxers as well. They like to hold that jab out or hold that lead hand out. But as we were saying, a beautiful connection by both fighters, Ali.
Really like the uppercut there from Jessebelle, but it looked like Pimchanok really ate that uppercut to land her own hook, Jimmy.
Yeah, sometimes you've got to give one to take one, and sometimes you've got to take three to give a really good one. But I think Pimchanok is out of ideas. I think Jessebelle has just found her way through the guard of her opponent and just really going to town on her now with these combinations.
And that is the bell to end round 4. We've gone over the halfway stage now. We'll get the replays for you very shortly. What did you make of that round, Jimmy?
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful stuff again by Jessebelle. Jessebelle has got a great style. She's very aware of what's going on in the ring. She's very much just setting traps constantly, using that jab really effectively. As we was talking about in these earlier fights, throwing a jab that isn't connecting is still effective, and that's what Jessebelle does really well. Pimchanok had her moments. She landed an overhand right. She landed a nice shot to the guard and the shoulders, but is it enough to win this fight? I doubt it. However, we did see a very close fight early on where the judges gave it to the fighter that I think a lot of people didn't think he would get it. So it depends on the judges' feelings for these events as well.
Yeah, like the saying goes, you definitely don't want to leave it in the hands of the judges, but that is definitely easier said than done.
So we've got some live scoring here, and at the moment they're giving the challenger 39, 39, 39, and every other judge is giving the other one 37, 37, 37, as you can see on your screen. So definitely a dominant performance for the challenger.
Jab here from Jessebelle to begin round 5.
And this is exactly what Pimchanok should be doing right now, staying busy, staying active. But you shouldn't be allowing yourself to get bullied by a shorter fighter. Even though it's harder to find them in the ring, you can't let them bully you with the range. You need to dictate what the range should be.
Straight attempt there from Jessebelle, trying to land that right hook, but hitting nothing but air, getting more success with the jab. Right hand, though, connects over Pimchanok as soon as Jessebelle stepped forward. Great shot from the fighter in the blue corner, Jimmy.
Very nice, short, stiff right hand to really set the pace and really announce herself in that ring as well. Pimchanok should now start putting these pieces together. She landed a clean right hand. She needs to follow it up with combinations. She's not going to win this fight with single punches.
Again, Jessebelle feinting on the outside, pouring out that jab. Landing good clinch work there from Jessebelle, wrapping up and then pulling away to land the left.
And this is what we were saying. Jessebelle is dominating the range war, and she is the shorter fighter, which to me is just a testament to her ring IQ and their fighting ability. Great stuff. But Pimchanok has just got to believe in herself and start throwing those right hands to the body, to the chest, and to the chin. She needs to just push forward, be aggressive, and accept you might take one in the process, but you'll give an even better one when you go in.
Jab by Jessebelle, and then she goes downstairs to the body with that straight left. Still, there's a real gap between these two that Jessebelle is good at closing, but Pimchanok has really struggled to.
Jessebelle tends to fade in the later rounds as well, which we've seen before. If Pimchanok can just bide her time in the later rounds, maybe she'll have some success. But we will see. This is only scheduled for 8 rounds.
Well, that was the end of round 5. Let's take a look at the replay here. The action replays on screen now. Jessebelle, you see there, just all she had to do was take half a step to land that straight left to the body that she had so much success with, especially that straight left to the head too. On my unofficial scorecards, Jimmy, well, we saw it early on that the judges at the moment are giving it to Jessebelle in the red corner, 39 to 37.
Yeah, very interestingly with live scoring as well. It allows the fighters to realize they're down as well. I would have liked to have seen that for the other fights as well, because I didn't know how close some of these other fights were. So I think this is a great thing for some boxers because it gives them a boost. It gives them some smoke that they can start to realize, I need to do something now. She knows she's down. She knows she's losing. She needs to give it everything she's got.
Okay, here we go. We're heading into round 6 right now. We have Jessebelle Pagaduan in the red corner representing the Philippines. And we've got Pimchanok Singmanasak Jim representing Thailand in the blue.
It's a fast start for both fighters, and that's what I think you need to see. Jessebelle definitely doesn't want to leave this to chance either. She knows she's up on the scorecards, but she's going to stay active. She needs to try and win, and that was the clash of the heads, and that's exactly what we don't like to see, sorry. Southpaw against an orthodox. They're both battling for that lead leg. It's very common to clash heads.
Jessebelle back on the front foot. Fight resumes. Pimchanok holding the center of the ring well. Jessebelle happy to fight her on the outside, picking her shots very carefully, feinting in that jab, trying to get in. But she walks straight into a very short right hand there, Jimmy. A bit, almost a dangerous spot there for Jessebelle early on.
Yeah, Jessebelle is very, very comfortable in the ring because she's landed so many clean shots to the body and to the head with that lead upstairs. But look at the well on the forehead of her opponent, and I like to believe that's actually from the headbutt rather than punches. So I hope that doesn't cause too much damage because that looks like a little bit of a hematoma going on.
Yeah, very much so. I think it was from the clash of heads for sure. And what a flurry between these two. Jessebelle trying to land the left. And Pimchanok just wrapping her up in the clinch.
Jessebelle needed that clinch to survive that short moment there because Pimchanok was really coming alive with combinations. But this is what we were talking about in the earlier rounds. Pimchanok lands a nice clean shot but doesn't follow it up with a combination. You cannot just expect to win a fight on single shots. You need to put pieces and combinations together, and that's what she needs to do. Otherwise, Jessebelle's going to win this fight.
Just before they got into the clinch, Jessebelle landed cleanly with that left hand, staying light on her feet. And that is the bell to end round number 6. We go into round 7. 2 more rounds to go to determine who will be the next WBC Asia female flyweight champion. There's the bit of outburst, cry of outburst from Pimchanok from the clash of heads. And like you said, Jimmy, real well on the forehead of both fighters from that clash of heads. Real unfortunate.
Yeah, we saw that nice tucked in left hand again, and Jessebelle has landed that shot all day long, and that's very typical against an orthodox. Southpaw against an orthodox, the thing you're trying to do is you're trying to land that lead hand down the middle, and you see the ice is being applied to the forehead of Pimchanok Singmanasak Gym. That, well, I doubt should be much of an issue in this fight, especially in the later rounds. However, sometimes hematomas, they just get really, really big very quickly. So hopefully the ice has done the trick.
Okay, here we go. Heading into round 7. This is the second to last round.
A very nice start by Jessebelle. Very active once again with a jab. And that's what she needs to be. Active with a jab, and she can set up. You know, the old school saying is everything is off the jab. And Jessebelle is definitely a testament to that philosophy.
Good two-punch combination there from Jessebelle. Pimchanok tries to rally, and Jessebelle catching her on the back foot.
You know, I like to see Pimchanok land that right hand, and then she starts smiling at her opponent. So she's got the confidence, but she must know she's already down on the scorecards. You can't just win this fight unless you've got the power to back it up. You need to just go forward and deliver everything you've got. Smother the smaller opponent.
Yeah, that's something that Pimchanok really hasn't been doing at all in this fight. If anything, she's just tried to snipe her on the outside and try to counter too, and hasn't really had much success with that strategy at all.
Have you noticed as well, Pimchanok is not flicking out that jab. She's just reacting to everything Jessebelle does. Now, I understand Pimchanok is a counter puncher, but sometimes you need to force counter punches into your own spell, and Pimchanok is not doing that. Pimchanok is just allowing Jessebelle to fake her out.
Jab there from Jessebelle on the front foot, left hand down the middle.
A stumble back from Jessebelle makes the crowd go wild, and this is where Pimchanok needs to come alive. Send everything you've got, don't leave it to chance, and just keep firing. But Pimchanok goes back to central ring, where she's definitely at a disadvantage.
No risk, no reward, but it looks like Pimchanok is really very apprehensive about risking a lot at the moment, but she's got nothing to lose.
Beautiful right hand landed cleanly, but I don't think it's enough to win these fights, all these rounds, and we're going into another round, and I think she needs to just sit down and really go for it, Ali.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you. Final round coming up, but let's get the replays first. This wasn't a bad round for Pimchanok. If anything, she landed her straight right perfectly in this fight, in this round.
But Jessebelle did exactly what I've been talking about in other fights, is she goes to the chest. She doesn't leave her shots to just landing to the head and the chin. She goes to the chest, but like you said, Pimchanok had a very good round that time. She landed clean shots, she landed some haymakers, and definitely got the attention of Jessebelle as well. And I think that's what we need to see more of. She needs to start sending some big overhand rights. She needs to get the respect of Jessebelle, because Jessebelle to me is just outboxing the power puncher that is Pimchanok.
Yeah, well, here we go, coming into our final round of this championship affair between these two. It's Jessebelle Pagaduan in the red corner representing the Philippines, and Pimchanok Singmanasak Gym in the blue corner representing Thailand.
And we are now here for the final round. Will Pimchanok dig down and go for that Hail Mary shot, or will Jessebelle just win? You've got to think sometimes when you're in that corner, are you going to allow yourself to just get a loss without going down, or are you going to give it everything you've got and try and win? Are you going to go out on your shield, or are you just going to allow your opponent to outbox you?
Well, we will see. If anything, Pimchanok is definitely losing this fight on my unofficial scorecard on points. So she's got to go for broke, see if she can get 1, 2, or maybe a knockout if she can.
And that's what we're talking about, but some nice right hands, but needs to be more active. You don't have long to win this fight. You've got exactly this round. We've seen the scorecards already. We know she's at least 3 rounds down. I think she's got to just go for it and give everything she's got. And this is where she needs to come alive, Ali.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's not been a bad round for her so far. Pimchanok on the front foot, finally taking the fight to Jessebelle and landing that right hand at will. And it's tagged Jessebelle a couple of times, and that really has stunned her. Jessebelle trying to stay out of trouble by wheeling away into free space.
Jessebelle landed a nice left hand whilst Pimchanok was coming towards her, so definitely using her own tactic against her. But both fighters look tired. Both fighters are trying to dance their way to the final bell, but it's Pimchanok that needs to do something here. And we can see both fighters are just out of range of one another. They need to go for it. Jessebelle, I think, has done enough to win this fight, but why leave it to chance?
Very much so. Jessebelle taking her foot off the gas. Had a bit of a relaxed strategy so far in this round. Don't blame her, really. She's, done all the hard work already in the earlier rounds. And here comes Pimchanok.
Yeah, she's done exactly what she needs to do to win this fight, in my view. But again, we've seen with the judges in the other fights, they haven't necessarily given it to the person that we think is winning. So sometimes you can't leave it to the chance. You've just got to go for what you have. But a very great fight, and we're going to go to the Big Teddy in the middle with the official decision. Let us know on YouTube. Let us know in the comments, who do you think's won this?
Rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Judge number 1 scores this 77-75. Judge number 2, 78-74. Judge number 3, 78-74. Your winner by unanimous decision and new World Boxing Council Asia female flyweight champion, Jessebelle!